Sure.
Questions?
Appreciate everybody being here today. Our team is excited about our exhibition game tomorrow, playing somebody besides themselves, and being able to show the progress that they've made during the course of our practices so far this year. So from a coaching standpoint, we're looking for progress in the fundamental areas, individually with our players, and then looking for progress in terms of the team aspect with our team and the concepts that we've been working on defensively and offensively since the beginning of practice.
Questions?
Maybe just the,
Go ahead, Pete.
Yeah.
just the thoughts of getting back in terms of your official role now and how have things changed, how have you approached it?
It's been tremendously exciting for me to move into the coaching role. It's been great to be with Coach Crean here at IU and being able to be on the court and actually instruct now instead of the ops position, which is limited in the areas that you're actually allowed to do with the team. So that's been great. I'm excited to watch our players tomorrow, as I mentioned, and see how they've made progress, really going back to the summer with the new guys. And then with our veterans, the areas of improvement that they've been adding to their games. You know, one of the things that Coach Crean is tremendously strong in is the area of development. And you've seen that over the course of time-tested development in terms of players. And so it's very rewarding and exciting to see as a coach from the coaching standpoint how they've progressed and to continue to move in that same direction.
Mike, you're keeping the tradition going of being a former head coach in that assistant position. What kind of perspective does that give you in that role?
I'm hopeful that it gives a veteran approach. You know, what we try to do, Coach Buckley being a head coach, Coach Martin being a head coach, we try to see around the corners, try to do the things that when we were head coaches, we wanted our assistants to be good at and to take care of the things both in terms of on the court and off the court, so that Coach Crean can stay very focused on the things that he is doing with the team and preparing for practice and recruiting and those type of things. So it's an interesting perspective though, because of the experience that you have as a head coach, and then moving to the assistant spot, just being able to move forward with things individually with players that allow them to get better. You know, that's probably the biggest part of it.
Zach? You played these guys last year. I know it's two different settings, you know, being on a foreign tour, the shot clock and everything you had going up there as opposed to this, but do you feel like maybe adding them to the exhibition schedule is going to give you a little bit of a litmus test of being able to compare and contrast the way you did with them last year, the way you handle them now? They're
a good team. They're a good basketball team. They do a tremendous job spacing the floor and shooting the three. In our game against them in Canada last summer, they shot 60% from the three. And in their last 3 games here in the tournament that they just played, they're at 40%, and their last 9 games, they're at 43%, which is outstanding. So that's the number one challenge defensively, is to handle that three-point skill that they have. And that plays right into what I mentioned about making progress in terms of the defensive fundamentals. We've been working really hard on our man-to-man individual defensive fundamentals in terms of footwork, in terms of ball pressure, in terms of contesting shots, chasing teams off the three-point line. And we'll see if where we're at with that, just as you mentioned, where we're at with that tomorrow.
Just a quick follow-up. I know when you played them up there, I know size was kind of an issue a lot of last season, but there really wasn't because Hunter had to stay home.
Right.
Is there something, I guess, maybe looking at just basic defense, that having more size this year is going to allow guys to be a little bit different in the way they can get up into the ball and pressure man-to-man and things like that? And is tomorrow night maybe an example of that?
Well, we're hopeful, and it's certainly good to have that size inside, because you have the rim protector, obviously, when you're in those penetration situations. So Thomas is developing. He has a good knack for it. He's good at recognizing the rotation situations. Max Bielfeldt has the Big Ten experience of having played for a number of years, and then Juwan and OG are still building that into their games, the awareness of protecting the paint inside.
They have Ottawa has an older team just by the nature of Canadian basketball. What does that mean for a team? Are they going to be more patient, or what will you see with that?
You as a defensive team have to be very sound because they are veterans. They're crafty. Number 11, if I get his name right, Lafricane, is very crafty with the basketball. They know how to play the three-point line and play both sides of the court at the same time, if I can say that. So the strong side, you have your principles of playing the ball, playing screen roll game, but they are very good at seeing the outer third and seeing that the help is not there, and so skipping over and putting your defense in closeout situations, which is hard when there's such good three-point shooters. So they're good at the screen roll game, they're good at spacing, and because of their understanding of the international game and the short clock and the spacing, they're very good at it.
Do you have any particular area where you yourself kind of focus as a coach? I think I might be mistaken, but I think Coach McLean was credited with working with some of the big men the last few years. Do you do anything like that? Do you concentrate on a position or any type of specific area when you're coaching?
Yeah, one of the things that I'm greatly appreciative of Coach Crean is that we work in every area. So we were able to work with the guards, we work with the forwards, we work with the bigs, we're able to work with the offense, work with the defense. So we really spread that around a lot, and it's been great to work with Coach Buckley and Coach Martin. Coach Buckley and I go back to our days coaching against each other in the MAC. Coach Martin and I have some coaching acquaintances that we're familiar with, and those guys are tremendously knowledgeable in all areas of the game. So we're hopeful that we're able to bring that to the team and to aid Coach Crean in his vision for where he wants the program to be.
Go ahead.
With the exhibition season, how do you balance putting your best lineups out there and getting the minutes versus putting guys in new spots and trying different things offensively and defensively?
Yeah, that's a great question, and you certainly want to balance that. You know, you want to balance that. You want to see different players in different positions. We're a multi-position team. We like to have those interchangeable parts. So I think as these two games come up, you'll see a lot of different rotations, see a lot of different mix and match with different guys in different positions, and then we have some versatile players, as you know, that can do some different things. So Coach Crean is excellent at the matchup game, seeing where different positions that we have good matchups in can be exploited, and that's something that you want to work on in these exhibition games as well.
Rob, could you explain or just give an idea of some of the differences between being a coach in the Big Ten when you were at Illinois years ago and now? What has evolved and what have you seen from the league over that course of time?
It's very interesting because the Big Ten is still a very physical league. So you still have the physicality of the league. I think that the speed of the game is picked up in the Big Ten. And certainly Indiana has a lot to do with that because of the pace that we play, the ability we have to score, the shooters that we have. So even though it's a physical league, the pace of scoring in the Big Ten has risen quite a bit. And the one thing that has remained a constant is you have to have really good players. You have to have really good players to be at the top of the league. And as you look this year at the teams throughout the league, it's going to be another tremendously competitive Big Ten basketball season.
Yep.
Just one of the things Coach Buckley brought up talking about Thomas Bryant, it says passing out the post. How much does that open up the offense when you have a big like that?
Oh, it's terrific. Yeah, it's terrific because one of the sound ways to play offensive basketball is to play inside out. And so last year our inside out game was through penetrate and kick. You know, we would penetrate to get inside and then kick it out. But when you have the post player who has the ability to score inside and then add to that a feel for hitting the open man, especially out of the high post, that is tremendously beneficial to your offense. And so when you look at the shooting that we have, the high percentage three-point shooters, you can surround a post presence like Thomas Bryant with that. It's a dangerous weapon to have because it always puts the defense in those closeout situations. In other words, where they're helping in the lane and they have to go out and decide whether to challenge the shot, or maybe that player can shot fake and drive. So we try to keep those things we always encourage our guys to make simple plays in those situations, and it's just like yesterday at the, or the other day at the haunted hoops scrimmage. Thomas had, I think, 4 assists, and which was great for a big man, because usually you look at big men across the country, they usually have more turnovers than assists because they're just not that great of passers out of the post. But Thomas has a knack for it, and that's tremendously beneficial.
Okay, last question.
Where is, at the same time you talk about kind of going inside, going through him, where is he in terms of using screens? And I know he's got some shooting range, maybe that feel for when he is in that screen game, when to roll, when to pop.
Right.
I guess how to find the space and read that play as it develops.
That's still a work in progress with him in terms of the screen roll game, because as you move up from the prep school level to the college level, you move into the NBA level, that becomes more and more sophisticated. And Thomas has a good knack for his back to the basket. He's good when he sets a ball screen and rolls into the post. The in-between game, the pick and pop game, those are all things that he's continuing to develop so far in the preseason that we'll work on in these next 2 exhibition games with him.
Mike, you want to go ahead?
How, if at all, have you had to change what you do in practice to deal with the shorter shot clock?
Not much at all. Not much at all. We didn't have to deal with it much when we went to Canada and played with the 24-second clock, because we play fast. We want to get the ball up to court. We want to take the first best shot and then really attack the lane, attack through inside out. And the one thing that everyone being in the coaching community anyway is really concentrating on the different parts of that shot clock. In other words, the early shot clock, the middle shot clock, and then the late shot clock. So you want your players to have an understanding of what is a good shot in each one of those segments. And obviously, even though it was a 5-second difference, that changes a little bit with the reduction to 30 seconds. So it's good when you can have that mentality to score late in the shot clock.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.